Assalamualaikum and good day, everyone. We're from Group 5. Today, we're going to talk about market structure, profit competition. I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, my fellow members. Hi, my name is Noali Sabrina. I will talk about industry overview on understanding the perfect competitions, which is we do a market analysis of agricultural industry, farming, padi, which is from Bernas. We analyze in our objective, we analyze to analyze the structure of perfect competition and second to relate it to the Malaysian padi farming industry. To start off, Malaysian rice market serves as a compelling real-life example of perfect competitions. Over 189,500 farmers, primarily located in northern state, which is Kedah, Perlis, and Perak, contribute to the market, ensuring no single farmer can control price. The product itself is homogeneous as all rice adhere to the government standards, making it nearly identical. Farmers are price taker, meaning they cannot set their own price, but rather follow the market rate, which is controlled by Padi Beras Nasional Berhad, we call it as Bernas, a Malaysian national rice company responsible for food security and supply stabilization. The market is characterized by transparent information, with price, cost, and quality being widely known. Furthermore, entry and exit into the market are relatively easy, allowing new farmers to start and other to leave if profitability declines. The mere global example like the wheat market in the USA and Canada, where farmers similarly accept global prices. From our research, we find that while this is not perfectly ideal, but we do believe a Malaysian rice market effectively demonstrate how competition had maintained fair prices for all participants. Therefore, me, I would like to pass it to the next participant. Thank you.
My name is Muhammad Danish bin Hamzah. I will present about the market characteristic, number of firms, the high number of producers create a competitive market where each farmer is a price taker, receive the market price without influence. So large number of small scale farmers. Malaysia has a 189,500 farmers in 2021 and 2023. Most are self-employed or runs family-based or small farmers. No single farmers has enough market share to control price. Example by state, to produce Kedah as a higher farmers reach 56,964 and Sarawak 33,595 farmers. Perlis 30,371 farmers. So then we will look at the level of competition, market characteristic. Although production look competitive market, power is concentrated among a few big players, limiting through perfect competition. On the surface, high competitive. Once, thousands of small farmers operate independently, and second, of producers similar rice product, and three, appear like a perfectly competitive market. In relative limited competition, Bernas control 48% of local body processing, 30% of price input, strong market dominance, farmers rely on few major buyers. And then we will look at the monopoly in food supply, Nafas in the sole distributor for subsidized and fertilizer and pesticide, limit choice and weakens competition. So in the market characteristic type of product, padi farming in Malaysia produce standardized rice, making a strong example of homogeneous product in perfectly competitive market. Homogeneous product is most farmers grow the same rice variety across Malaysia. Example MR315 as a called Sri Wajah, high yield and disease resistant, and then MRQ 104, Kebang Sari, aromatic rice, lower value. And then the little product differentiation, farmer use similar method and follow government standard. Rice appear the same regardless of who grow it. So the impact of pricing, which no clear product difference, farmer cannot change premium price. All our price takers might accept market price. So next I will to pass to the next presenter.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Muhammad Danish bin Abdul Wahab. Today, I'm going to talk about market characteristics, pricing power and barriers to entry. Let's now look at two important market characteristics in the paddy farming sector, pricing power and barriers to entry. Pricing power. Firstly, paddy farmers have little to no control over the prices they receive for their produce. This is because prices are determined by market supply and demand and often set by government agencies. Next is low barriers to entry. Paddy farming has relatively low barriers to entry, which means it's easy for new farmers to enter the market. It only requires basic tools and access to land. However, some challenges remain, particularly access to startup capital and securing farmland. Next is government support. To ease these challenges, government initiatives like AgroBank loans and the Young Agropreneur Program are available. These programs aim to support new entrants and reduce financial and logistical obstacles. In summary, paddy farming is a good example of a perfectly competitive market. Farmers are price takers and entry into the market is relatively easy. Next is we're going to talk about government intervention. While paddy farming shows many features of perfect competition, government intervention plays a major role in shaping the industry. And there's a minimum price during low price seasons, grants and incentives, such as the Agripreneur Muda program, which provides funding and training for young farmers. Budget allocation. Budget allocations are targeted at two main goals, boosting agricultural productivity and strengthening the food supply chain. Although government intervention means the market isn't perfectly competitive, these actions are essential for supporting small-scale paddy farmers and ensuring national food stability. I'm going to pass to the next presenter.
Thank you, Danish. Hi, everyone. I'm Vedashni Saravanan here. Today, let's explore effective business strategies in paddy farming. There are 3 effective business strategies in paddy farming. First and foremost, under competitive strategies, farmers can reduce costs through modern tools like irrigation systems, mechanization, and bulk buying. They also benefit from direct sales through farmers markets, online platforms, or contract farming. Some target niche markets by growing aromatic, organic, or low GI rice. Next, in branding and marketing, creating a strong brand identity focused on quality, sustainability, and origin story is essential. Promotion through social media platforms like TikTok, Instagram, and Facebook helps increase visibility. Attractive packaging, certifications, and loyalty programs further build customer trust. Finally, innovation and differentiation are key. Using drones, mobile apps, and precision tools boost efficiency. Growing unique rice varieties caters to premium markets, while eco-friendly practices like water saving and carbon-neutral methods support sustainability. Together, these strategies enhance both competitiveness and long-term success in paddy farm. I would like to pass to the next presenter. Thank you.
Thank you, Veda. I'm Musdana. I would like to present about challenges in the agriculture market. I have 4 challenges. First, rising competition and technology gap. Small farmers struggle to compete with modern agribusiness using hydroponic machinery and mobile apps. Limited capital and technical knowledge widen the gap. The second challenges is price pressure and market access. Buyers often hold pricing power, pushing price down. Poor infrastructure, road and transport limit access to better markets. Lacks of market information reduce farmers' ability to plan. Next, regulatory burden. Food safety rules require certification, packaging, and labeling. This increase costs and are difficult for small farmers to meet. For the last challenges is changing consumer preference. Growing demand for organic, healthy, and local food. Adapting requires investment in new tools and skills, which many small farmers lack. For addition, without proper support, small farmers risk being left behind in a fast-changing, technology-driven, and highly competitive agriculture market. So let we move to conclusion.
All right, thank you, Liana. Hi everyone, my name is Toy Chen. Let me to conclude our presentation on the padi industry in Malaysia. The padi industry in Malaysia show many characteristics of the perfectly competitive market, such as having many small farmers, similar products, and price-taking behavior. However, due to government involvement through bonus and subsidy, it is not a truly perfect competition model. Farmers often face low income and limited market power. To remain competitive, farmers must adopt innovation, product differentiation, and direct marketing strategy. At the same time, government support remains necessary through financing, fair regulation, and improved rural infrastructure. In conclusion, the future of the padi industry depends on the farmers' ability to adapt and the continued support from the government. That's all for me. Thank you. All right, now that we come to the end for the presentation, now this time is Q&A session, and I have one question to ask someone. And the first question is, how does government support impact padi farmers? Can anyone answer this question?
Good question, Toyi. It helps stabilize income and ensures access to markets and resources. Hope that helps you.
To our group members, if you guys giving all attentions, what is the main crop we discussed in this presentation?
Farming.
Okay, thank you for everyone participating. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Thank you, everyone.